talk about the fishing gears. The fishing gears are the devices which are used to catch the fishes. They are broadly grouped into four categories, namely the nets, the hooks along with the lines, the traps, and the spears and the harpoons. So starting with the net, the net is a strong webbing in which twines are loosely interlaced, leaving regular meshes in between. So these spaces or the meshes in between are the place where the fish are being caught. It is made up of cotton, silk, flax, hemp, or nylon. Mesh size determine the role of the net. So the simple gill net hangs on a line with the floats. These are the float. This is the float line, and these are the floats with which it can float in the water. And on the other side, there are weights having which is known as the lead line. The line along the bottom of the panel is generally weighted and may be referred to as lead line. So it hangs like a vertical wall in the water with the help of floats, and it's submerged because of the bottom weights. A gill net is like a straight wall. Gill net can be characterized by mesh size as well as color and the type of material used. So the fishes are caught in the net by three different methods. One is known as the wedge. In wedge, the fish is held by the mesh around the body. In case of grilled, it is called grilled when the mesh slipped behind the opercula or the gills of the fish, and it is tangled when the fish is held by the teeth or the spines or the maxillary or any other protrusion without the body penetrating into the mesh. So the fish is captured inside the net by the because of the protruding body parts. It can capture any of the fish which is not required also. Scenes are different from gill nets in that a scene encloses a fish. It captures the fish like a bag, like we capture the fish in a bag. It doesn't capture it directly into the mesh. It hangs vertically in the water with the help of bottom weights and the top floats. The seine nets can be deployed from the shore as a beach scene or from the boat. The boats deploying the seine are known as the seiners. It may be the purse seine or the Danish seine. As you can see in the photograph, the purse seine has the floats on the above and the weights at the bottom side, and the weights bearing ring consist of a line or the rope. अगर हम उस रोप को खींचते हैं तो ये सभी रिंग्स पास पास आके इस नेट को नीचे से बंद कर देते हैं. So it has a number of rings along the bottom. A rope passes through all these rings, and when pulled, it draws the ring close to one another, preventing the fish from swimming down to escape the net. And this operation is very much similar like the purse. We have traditional purse. एक पोटली होती थी जिसके ऊपर रस्सी थी और रस्सी को खींचते थे उसका मुंह बंद हो जाता था. सेम ये वैसे ही है. It is a preferred technique for capturing the fish species with school. School means the group of fishes or aggregate close to the surface. For example, the mackerel, the tuna, or the salmon. Danish one consists of a conical net with two long wings with a bag where the fish collect. Drag lines extend from the wings and are long so that they can surround the area. So there are two drag lines which can be put on two different boats or to the one boat and one float. The seine boats drag the wrap and the net in a circle around the fish. The motion of the wrap hurls the fish into the central line. So you can see in this photo there is a marker buoy or the float from which a line is attached to the net. The boat surrounds this marker buoy from all sides, thereby dragging the fish inside the net. So these type of nets are used for the bottom-dwelling fishes most of the times. Trawling is another method in which a fish is it involves pulling a fish net through the water behind one or more boats. The net used for trawling is known as the trawls. So it has two lines like the Danish one, but it is much larger and has wheels on the base. And they are also known as the draggers. The fish is captured inside the conical net. It can be divided into two different types, like the bottom trawling or the mid-water trawling, depending upon how high the trawl is in the water column. Dredge is like a trawler, but it differs in the fact that it has a metal frame that are dragged across the sea floor to catch the clam, the oysters, or the mussels, or the sea cucumbers. It dig into the substrate because of the teeth at the base up to the 1 feet deep, thereby uh, harming the seabed also for its biodiversity. So both the trawls and the dredges capture many unwanted fishes because it keeps on moving and captures anything which comes across it. Lines and hooks. The trawling lines, as the name indicates, it has lines here means the ropes, the fine ropes. The fine ropes are attached with the hooks, and hooks are attached with the baits. And trawling lines, they lure the fish or they attract the fish with moving fishing lines with baited hooks. Several trawling lines are often towed at the same time, and equipment called outrigger keeps the line away from the boat wake. The lines are hauled in by hand or mechanically using small winches or the machines. The trawling lines are used to catch a variety of species such as the mackerel, rockfish, salmon, or the tuna. This fishing method has low catch of unwanted marine life because as soon as a wrong fish is captured, it is released. So this is how the line and hooks are used. These are the different lines or the fine ropes along with the hooks and the baits. And the fishes are attracted towards the bait and they are captured. Harpoons are the poles. They are the poles along with the spears. एक भाले की तरह है, साथ में एक स्टील की रॉड और उसको एक लाइन से जोड़ देते हैं. See, you can imagine here we have a spear along with the steel rod and the line. So harpoons are poles that have steel points with one or more barbs or the spear at the end and usually a retrieving line. When a fisherman targets a fish, he thrusts or shoots the harpoons into the animal and haul it aboard. This traditional fishing method is still used by skilled anglers to catch the pelagic predators such as bluefin tuna and the swordfish. Nowadays, the modern harpoons are shot by guns. Bycatch of unwanted marine life is not a concern because the species and size of the fish are identified before it is caught. So these are the different gears which we use to capture the fishes from the marine environment. Now look at some of the videos of these fishing techniques and try to uh, imbibe or understand the.
A bottom trawl is a type of fishing net that's pulled along the sea floor. Fishermen commonly use bottom trawls to catch shrimp and bottom-dwelling fish like halibut and sole. In addition to these target fish, however, the nets also catch a variety of ocean life that's usually thrown back dead or dying. Dragging heavy gear across the seabed can also damage sensitive seafloor habitat. Reducing the harmful effects of bottom trawling requires either modifying the fishing gear or limiting the areas where trawling is allowed to protect sensitive bottom-dwelling organisms and their habitat. Dredges are shellfish like oysters, clams, and scallops. Metal teeth dig into the seafloor to lift the catch into the basket, which can disturb the sediment and create plumes and siltation. dredges can have significant impact on seafloor habitat and bottom-dwelling species. One way to limit damage to this habitat and the wildlife living there is to regulate the areas where dredging may occur. Gill nets are walls of net. These nets can also accidentally catch ocean animals like sea turtles, marine mammals, and sharks. Fishermen can take measures to reduce this accidental catch by setting the nets deeper in the water column to allow room for animals to swim over, and adding gear like pingers, which warn passing marine mammals. Fishermen can reduce the adverse impacts of this type of fishing gear on ocean wildlife. Longline tunas and swordfish. These vessels have the capacity to set up to 50 miles of baited hooks that can be left to soak overnight or for several days. Along with capturing the target fish, the hooks may also ensnare a variety of ocean animals, including sharks, endangered sea turtles, seabirds, and marine mammals. Fishermen can take measures to reduce the accidental capture of some of these ocean animals. Setting the fishing lines deeper allows many animals to swim over the top. A specially designed fishing hook, called a circle hook, can make it easier to release an animal that's accidentally been caught. Adding streamers above the water can scare away seabirds and save them from being caught on fishing hooks. Effective fishing gear modifications like these can reduce the impacts of longline fishing on ocean wildlife. Fishermen use purse seine nets. Sometimes fishing vessels deploy floating rafts called fish aggregating devices, also called FADs, to attract fish in the open ocean. Large nets encircle the school of fish, as well as other animals that may be attracted to the FAD. The bottom of the net is drawn shut to prevent the fish from escaping, and then the nets and the fish are gathered into the fishing vessel. When purse seiners use FADs, the accidental catch of juvenile fish, sharks, and other vulnerable animals can be a serious conservation concern. By eliminating the use of FADs, purse seiners can significantly reduce the number of animals that are accidentally caught by this fishing method.